Macioge. I'm the Director of Marketing for William T. Spader. I first received a phone call from Elizabeth about this opportunity, and I was excited because it sounded like my skill set and personality would be a good fit for this opportunity, and the willingness for them to have somebody working an hour and a half away, not always in the office, was very enticing, since that was an optimal situation for me. Decision Associates was great about keeping me in the loop as to where the process was along the way, so that it wouldn't leave me guessing. That can be pretty off-putting sometimes when you put yourself out there for a position and you don't hear anything for a week or 2 weeks. That wasn't the case. I was able to understand if there was going to be any follow-up questions or interviews. It kept me apprised of that, and even told me when I should expect another follow-up, which happened when I was told it would happen. A part of the process working with Decision Associates that stood out to me was I was given a heads up as to how the interview would go, the number of people that would be in the interview, who they were at the company, their title, tenure, things like that, that would help me to mentally prepare for who I'd be interacting with during the interview. Having a pre-interview with Decision Associates and understanding some of the more important accomplishments that I've had in other positions came into play during the interview, because what will typically happen during an interview, at least when I interview, is it gets very conversational and can sometimes get away from the important facts that contribute to the success of the role that they're interviewing for. And Elizabeth was great during that part of the process by bringing up something that came up during the pre-interview that might have been overlooked or just happened to have forgotten about during the course of a conversation. And I was really thankful for that, because there were a couple of examples of things that I've succeeded in other positions that she brought back into the conversation. Another valuable aspect of having Decision Associates in the mix is they have taken the time to understand their client and how they interview, how they make decisions, the pace at which they make decisions, and having them be an intermediary between the candidate and the hiring company helps to make sure things don't get lost in translation or misinterpreted as potentially a red flag or potentially a hasty decision, because she understands their reasoning behind it, because she has worked with them every step of the way, and likewise worked with a candidate every step of the way in understanding where they are in their career trajectory. One of the great things about having Decision Associates part of this whole decision process and hiring and onboarding is that they don't just stop after the point of offer. They stick with you. They are part of the check-ins, so that your employer and you can make sure that you're on the right track. 7 days in, 30 days in, 60 days in. And much like they do during the interview process, they also help facilitate communication and that the right information is being discussed that is going to be productive for future outcomes. So I think that any leader of a company, unless they have a very large and seasoned HR staff that is experienced in recruiting and onboarding, I think they can take full advantage of everything that Decision Associates offers to help ensure a smooth transition to a new employee, not just the first couple of days, but through that first year, which is really critical in cementing the relationship between the employer and the employee. And I think that Decision Associates navigates that role very well, so that they're not necessarily biased to one side or the other, but just speaking facts as they are. That whole first year of being a new employee in a company can be very formidable and part of their future success. And if not done properly, and again, if you don't have a village to help make sure that that happens, a company like Decision Associates can really help in that regard.